Just a quick announcement, there still is 1 week remaining in our trash challenge, recycling challenge. There's going to be a link in this video if you haven't heard about it yet, but there's a full week left in the challenge. We're about 2 weeks into it. I wanted to give you 3 weeks to do it. We still have a lot of people coming in with their challenge, which is great. I'm hoping to get a few more before next week is over. Thanks again. This bottle should appear like it's much more rare than it is. I love the embossing, the ace on it. I have a bigger version of this, and although again they're not super rare, I do like them. So I'm going to keep this one too, and now I have a pair. Just snatched this beautiful piece of pottery. These are the pieces I always like to take home. But I also want to show you one of the heartbreakers. I think that was a cobalt blue mug, like a beer mug maybe. How awesome would that have been? Not much you can do with that thing, but look at the pattern, look at the color. That gets a big rats. How about this cool little piece with the gold gilting on it? Or layering, whatever you call that. And, sorry about the wind, but this little squall just came in. It's not supposed to snow today. The clouds came in. It's cold enough to make it snow a little bit. I wanted to keep the sound clip for this video, but it was just too windy. And what's happening here is the storm is starting to brew up. We didn't have this one predicted. It came out of nowhere. And the wind started to pick up pretty strong. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm actually at a very low level here, the wind probably would have been creating a bigger issue for me. Well, I gotta tell you, other than what it looks like, it's actually pretty comfortable right now. We are in the middle of a squall, and I am mudlarking. How cool is that? Well, I'm still here because I'm finding some stuff. It's a very cool piece of pottery. It's going to clean up nicely. Maybe a 40s or 50s bottle that has some cool designs in it I might take home with all the snow on it. But we're still in the squall, and it's actually kind of fun. It's actually starting to cover a little bit, but I'm still picking up some targets. I got my salt shaker for the day, nice piece of blue willow, and another blue bead like the one I got last week. I don't know how long this is going to keep on. There goes a bird. Well, I made it through that little storm, and I just picked up an awesome inkwell. You can see some of the ink is still in there. I like to mess around a little bit with the different lighting in these pictures because the old glass always shows up really, really interesting color or shapes or lines in the glass depending on what kind of light is behind it. A household light or the sun. It looks like it's going to be old glass today, but I just pulled up this really cool perfume. It's got a nice little diamond shape to it, some cuts in the side. Nice, I like the bottom to it. I do love these perfume bottles. Who's that? There's your back end of the storm, because it's now actually starting to get brighter out. And I'm still here picking up some goodies. Got a long trough I've been digging here, and there's stuff all buried in here, just looking for the good stuff. Now I know these things were thrown out for a reason. It's a dump I'm in, actually. Stuff was thrown out because it was generally broken. But you think they could have thrown this guy out in perfect shape. Look at how cool he is. Even though he doesn't have his head, it's a clown playing the violin. Oh my goodness. Why did you lose your head? Only one string broke. You didn't have to go crazy. We can fix the violin. Look at him. You got some numbers on your back, pal. S1377. I don't know what that means. But look at you. Where's your head? All right. You are still very cool, pal. And you're going to stand up. I often wonder if these figurines were thrown out together. Wouldn't they sometimes be found together? That might be another one. It is. Something's going on there. Says Japan, so this is World War I era. Might be a number there, and there's a little guy right there doing something. I don't know what it is. But I love these figurines. Look at him. Oh, there's someone in there too. Wow. There's two people there. Boy, I knew if I was going to find a marble in this section, I'm scraping stuff up. If I see a marble and I don't grab it fast enough, it's just going to disappear back in the mud. And look at this bad boy I just snatched. From the looks of it, these usually turn out brown, but she is as black as it gets. It's like a little eyeball I pulled out of there, or a little pupil. Are you a human pupil? Look, I can see my reflection. Love this little Noxzema. Great color. And the sun's back out. It's like there was never a squall. I just got a tight little signal, maybe a half an inch under the dirt. And something really cool sitting right there. This is the first time picking it up. Well, based on the wear and tear, that's not gold. Might have been gold plated. But there's some kind of, oh, is that some kind of clown or cat? Look at that thing. Gold plated cat ring. Cool. This piece is really interesting. It has someone's name on it. First name is Alice. I really can't make out the last name, but I'm thinking this ring is really old. No maker's marks or carat marks were found on this ring. Are they? Okay.
Dad,
Yeah.
we took 10,000 steps.
Wow.
And including more on the way back.
You did a total of 10,000?
Yep. And more.
That's great. I'm testing a kid's ring for gold. And it might be really old, but it has the person's name here. Alice something. I can't really make it out, but...
Alice Goldberstein is old.
No.
Hi, baby.
Testing the 10 carat. Who's as excited as I am? Boy, that went quiet fast. Uh-oh. You see that little drip of acid?
Yeah.
You see how the color's still underneath it? That means the acid did not eat away the gold, so it's at least 10 carat.
That good?
That's good, of course. I thought it was fake. Now I got to test it for 14. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Put some gold on there. And test it for 14 carat. It appears the 14 carat is eating it up. No, maybe not. It's hard to tell sometimes. Oh, beautiful day. 37. Found this one in the mud. A little deep in the mud. Definitely looks like it's part of maybe a lamp or something like that. Oops. Nice ornate design. A little handle on it. Nice. Got some old stuff here. Well, my brother's starting to trace up the hill. I'm still getting some decent signals down low, although this thing is wrecked. That is an Indian head penny. So the age is still here. Got a decent signal in there. I could see something round. You can see it right there. I don't know if it looks like maybe a penny. Looks like we got a 1 center on there. Looks like that could be a little Indian head. See if I get it focused on there. There you go. Can you see the date? Little Indian head. Well, I can make some figures out, but no idea what it is. Maybe some kind of badge. Yeah, you can make them out pretty good. Well, it'll be tough to research that one. Well, unfortunately, these get pretty beat up in the sitting out here, but you can make that out. It's definitely a copper. It's just really thin. There she is. Now he's one up on me. Rats. We'll clean her up. See what we can do. I got a little brush. Had a little brush. Well, clean it up when I get home. Well, as my brother's out there shopping and hunting for copper coins that don't even really look like coins anymore, My incredibly wonderful and generous in-laws gifted me a whole bunch of their old silver coins they've been collecting. There's a great number of really awesome coins here. I know someone who's going to be green with envy when they watch this part of the video. There's a strange defect on this 1940 Canadian 1 cent. A great wind coming out of the south today, so as you can see, there's not a lot of waves. And an hour and a half before low tide, and it's blowing the tide out. They came and replenished our wall here a little bit so you can see all the new dirt. And I love to see when the water comes in and acts as like a little filtration system to clean out some of the dirt and leave some of the heavier stuff behind. So I'm already picking up a few things, like this little boomerang tool company. It's interesting, looks like some scissors pop out of that. You probably recognize this area from other videos of mine, but it's always a go-to spot when there's been a high tide and some wash. And anytime you see these things starting to collect, by the next day there'll be a whole new collection of this stuff. This sure looks like it could be a bracelet. Seems like those 2 points right there are soldered together with the little loops. I'm not sure. I always want to save the washed up flags. If I can get this out. Oh, I'm gonna need 2 hands. Looks like it's on a fishing pole. How strange it is. Alright, now I need 2 hands. Or maybe I could just use my stronger hand. Yep. Oh, look at that. Fishing pole. With a flag on it. I picked up this awesome piece at the thrift store the other day. It's one of those vintage cars that I believe used to hold candy in it. I found a few busted up ones on the beaches, but this one's in really good shape, except for a minor chip right there. When I saw the piece, I recognized that it had that kind of purple staining to it, so it probably has some manganese glass in it, and probably sat on the shelf of someone's home in the sun for a long time, because you can see how that stained that glass more purple. It also has a few bubbles inside that you can kind of make out when they made the piece. So it's a really, really awesome piece. I think it's a Model T Ford. They even put some letters on the license plate there, PRO75. I don't know if that means anything, but that's a really, really cool piece. And the cool pieces always make themselves or make their way to one of my shelves